Okay, so, Bubsy the Bobcat, we all know who he is by now. After 40, after defeating the Bad Bots, what is the next step for Bubsy despite Atari didn't really create anything further yet? Atari currently owns Bubsy, so please understand that Atari can still have access to the experiment despite Atari owns Bubsy. I know what I mean. This is real experiment by me, despite Bubsy is still owned by Atari. I know what I mean. So please understand, this experiment is still not wrong. I'm sure of it. So, what I'm trying to say is, Atari does own Bubsy, and it is a very understandable stuff. Okay, so Bubsy the Bobcat, he defeated the Bad Bots, he defeated Baptiste, whatever. Is it possible? What is next for Bubsy? What is next for Bubsy after the 4D? Despite there could be another version of 4D. I mean, someday maybe. I don't know really. I really don't know. Okay, so here's my submission for a Bubsy Bobcat multiverse origin story. And so I will tell the story of how Bubsy was born and how the multiverse experimented for a very long time, especially virtual reality. Now you know where he really came from. Virtual reality. He came from the same multiverse lab as little Bubsy. If you understand that. Virtual reality came from the same multiverse experiment lab. And oh man, you're going to figure that out. Okay, so Bubsy was born and he was experimented on by the multiverse Bubsy, especially 1993 Bubsy, especially. The old Bobcat 1983 was believing that Bubsy was his only experiment to succeed the other experiments, especially virtual reality, despite virtual is smarter than anyone else, and virtual reality was his own, despite he wanted to escape and not be an experiment no longer. So virtual reality escaped, and with Bubsy, I guess. Virtual reality eventually probably decided to become a street survivor of some sort in the area of the Hollywood area, I guess, trying to make sure Bubsy stayed out of trouble. Only Virtual smarts managed to get Virtual some money, and I guess they were living in Hollywood this whole entire time during the 90s. And Bubsy was raised to be an actor, despite it was Virtual's fault, maybe. Okay, so the multiverse for years tried to look for their Bubsy and get virtual reality to be punished or something like that, maybe. So what I'm trying to say is that it is possible the multiverse is the origin story of Bubsy, and virtual reality also originates from that type of story too, I guess. But mostly, yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense, even though this is a prequel type of thing right now. Do you want to understand that you just probably want to figure out another sequel after the prequel? So, the truth is, maybe there's a multiverse of Bubsies, despite I don't know how many multi-Bubsies are there much. Like I don't know how many multi-Bubsies would be featured, but they just want Bubsy back, and Virtual gets in trouble by the multiverse Bubsies or something like that, and they typically know the multiverse is the territory, and Bubsy finds out he's not really normal. He's actually an experiment by the multiverse Bubsies anyway. Bubsy was the only character to stand up for Virtual and tell all the multiverse, I don't want to be the experiment anymore, and Virtual and I deserve to have freedom and stuff, or something like that. And Bubsy 93 decide to accept the freedom of the two characters, despite it took a while for Bubsy to find somebody different to love, I guess. He wants to eventually settle down with somebody else, even though Olivia briefly knew that was gonna happen. That Bubsy was gonna find somebody else to love. And then Olivia's a little shocked, but I don't think she's that upset after Bubsy defeated the multiverse or something like that, I guess. So the end of this experiment is that Bubsy defeats the multiverse and falls in love with somebody certain. He just falls in love with somebody certain, and Grandpa Bubsy expires. The end, or something like that. Oh well. I have explained enough about the experiment. Please understand, this is for both formats. Do not mistaken this for anything bad. It's not.